Hello and good evening. Wow, it is truly an honor and a pleasure to be standing here and speaking in front of the Friends Seminary faculty and staff, my classmates, our parents, and family friends on this very special day, our graduation day. Just a year ago, we were feeling relieved and proud of successfully completing the 11th grade. Junior year was a very significant one for me, as I imagine it was as well for most of us graduating today. The college process was foreign and unpredictable. Until facing the college essay, many of us had not really had to think about how we would best describe the very abstract idea of who I am. But of course, the very introspective and meditative Friends Seminary silent meeting experience did give us a leg up above many of the other kids going through this process. In one of those silences, I thought about that oh-so-dramatic question that seems to be the first step, if not the entire journey, to discovering the meaning of your life. Who am I? Perhaps a little too influenced by Josh Gorin's English class on the problems of inheritance, the way I began my answer to that question was with my mother's story. My mother came to this country precisely 20 years ago, in 1993, leaving her entire family, career, and life behind in Colombia in the pursuit of love. Love for my father brought her to America. When she arrived, life was not what she had expected it to be, to say the least. On New Year's Eve, 1995, I was born, and just 4 months later, my father packed his bags and went back to Colombia, leaving my mother with the problem many immigrants face today: single parenthood, minimum English speaking capability, and few opportunities to provide for a family. When answering the who am I question, my mother's difficult past was a key part of the answer. So today, while I'm up here, I'd like to thank her for everything she's done for me to be able to be where I am today. Muchas gracias, mami. Thank you. Another person who deserves so much more than my thank you, let me just make my rounds, is Sandy, my mother's employer. Without her, I would not have had the educational experience that I was so fortunate to have here at Friends Seminary. To be frank, this independent school bubble is so far off the radar of any first-generation child living and going to a public school in Queens like I was. When Sandy introduced me to this school, I was infatuated and completely overwhelmed. The day I was accepted to Friends is one of the happiest and most important days of my life. Many people from my community in Queens shy away from a private education because of the cost. When Sandy told me she would take care of my tuition, she gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. To look back on that day, from where I stand today, I can't even find the words to express the love and gratitude I have for you, Sandy. I'm so happy you can be here today. This is not nearly enough, but thank you so much for everything. And thank you, Friends Seminary. Thank you, class of 2013, and everyone here at Friends for giving me an opportunity to share with you my culture, my life experiences, and my perspective. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've tried to get my classmates to come to Queens and have a little taste of Colombian food. With success. I even got my English teacher, Chris Dewar, and his family out to Queens for empanadas. Yeah, I can cross that one off the bucket list. I remember one time I took Peter Frisch to the mall in Queens, And as we were walking, all of a sudden, a flash mob busted out. There I was with Peter in the middle of a large group of Hispanic people who were dancing to Latin music. I looked up at Peter, and all I saw was a big smile on his face. After that, I couldn't help but feel that I deserved some service hours for expanding okay. For expanding the cultural horizons of my classmate. High school is a time where you're supposed to make a handful of unforgettable memories. Thanks to this community, I have. And not only have I shared my culture with my classmates, but they've also taught me a lot from their different backgrounds. Though in the end, I am grateful for all the opportunities and experiences I've had here with friends. It's not to say they weren't hard times. As an underclassman, I struggled to find my place in this community. What I did outside of school, my family's structure, and where I vacationed was very different than the majority of my peers. Even after a few years, the difference between my fellow classmates and me were very apparent, stopping me from fully feeling as if I belonged here. But in that time of discomfort, I grew. In my junior year, I came across a great man called Chris Dwar, who then introduced me to another great man, Ralph Waldo Emerson. If it isn't apparent yet, we love English here at Friends Seminary. Chris read in his soft and gentle voice, "What I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. It is easy to live in the world, to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude." I wanted to be that great man. To be that great man, I needed Emerson's aforementioned words and added to it a modern perspective from, believe it or not, Jim Carrey's wonderful movie, The Yes Man. It was necessary to stop worrying about where I fit within my peers' lifestyle and within my community. It was necessary to commit myself to thinking independently. For those of you who are familiar with the film, like the Yes Man, every opportunity that came my way, I said yes to. This mentality took me to work at a camp for kids in Costa Rica, attend national leadership conferences, intern in real estate, go to the island school in the Bahamas to do shark and sustainability research, join the golf team, and act in a film directed by a fellow classmate of mine, to name a few of my experiences. As I reflect on the list of things that I said yes to, what stands out the most is that all those opportunities were offered in some sort of way through Friends Seminary. This community has been an amazing catalyst for change in my life. Earlier this year, I spent a lot of time trying to answer the question, was this worth it? Was it worth leaving the comfort of a public school in Queens where I was in a community with people who lived a very similar lifestyle as mine to attend Friends? Had I succumbed to the fear of being in a foreign and initially uncomfortable environment, I would have never experienced all of these wonderful things. Now, as I look out to all of you and look back at the class of 2013, there's not a doubt in my mind that it was worth it. As we look forward to these next years of our lives, we have many questions and perhaps fears. There's a lot of uncertainty that we're dealing with. I urge each and every one of you to embrace the uncomfortable as much as you can in college and beyond. Though it won't be easy to try, have many first experiences, even if they turn out to also be a last. Because positive growth comes from those uncomfortable experiences. You learn about yourself and you further your abilities. Like Emerson said, what you must do is all that concerns you, not what everyone else thinks. Though at first you may feel like an outcast, my experiences have taught that only good things can come from stepping out of your comfort zone. To wrap it all up, I want to make a promise. I promise to, in good friend seminary fashion, strive to bring about the world that ought to be. Many have told me how moving my story is, but I want to remind everyone here today that this is not only my story. There are many other kids that have the same potential as me, or any other kid graduating here with me today. But the difference lies in that we were given this opportunity. The opportunity to go to an independent school called Friends Seminary, where people care about our well-being, our intellectual and social success. The difference lies in who gets the opportunity. An opportunity is a privilege. I want to thank everyone who has ever given me an opportunity, and I hope to one day be in a position of influence where I can grant opportunities to those who are often overlooked. Before I finish, I'd like to thank God for this moment and for everything He's done in my life. Congratulations, Friends Seminary Class of 2013. We did it.